Welcome back to the IAB Europe Retail Media Roundtable podcast. We're recording live here in Amsterdam at our Retail Media Impact Summit. And I am very happy to be joined by both Steve and Josh from TikTok. I would just ask you both to quickly introduce yourselves and your role, if that's okay. So Steve, starting with you.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us. I'm Steve Lockwood. I head up the client measurement team at TikTok across Europe and Israel.
Thank you. And Josh?
Yes, thanks again for having us. And my name is Josh Gray. I head up our product strategy and operations for commerce ads at TikTok.
Great. So before we get into the meat of the podcast, just quickly, we're here at the Retail Media Impact Summit. It's the first version of this event. Is there anything you're particularly looking forward to at the event? Any sessions or speakers that you're looking forward to hearing from today?
I actually really enjoyed the opening sessions. It's hearing from the IAB directly. It's not often that we actually get to do that in terms of the IAB perspective on things across Europe and also globally as well.
Yeah.
And then this afternoon, we've got our own sessions to look forward to as well. So we're being joined by some of our partners, and I think what I'm looking forward to about that is not so much, presenting at people, but the kind of discussion it might hopefully inspire, and really to get some kind of sense of something we're not sure about at TikTok is like, how is TikTok being perceived by the kind of outside world in terms of what our role in retail media actually is. So I'm really keen to get a sense of how the industry perceives our role in it, and some active discussion around it.
Yeah, I think plus one to everything Steve just mentioned. I'm really interested to hear more from partners in the industry and what are some of the common friction points that they're running into with retail media and how TikTok can really help elevate and lift their overall strategy.
So let's get into that, because your session is going to really explore the role of entertainment platforms in retail and commerce media, focusing on things like the challenges of like scale, attribution, how retail media and content are kind of becoming, increasingly interwoven. Consumers don't really see the difference. So thinking about that against that kind of as a backdrop, how would you describe how entertainment platforms like TikTok are reshaping how consumers discover, how they shop? How is that kind of actually playing out in real life?
I think we're fundamentally seeing commerce ads be rewritten right before our eyes. And platforms like TikTok are also evolving as well. So originally, we have a community of over 1 billion globally. And originally, this was like a really innovative platform for just entertainment. And I think what we're seeing this evolve to is not only are people coming to just be entertained and maybe discover something new, they're actually doing commerce events and taking true action. And what we're seeing is 2 in 5 are actually, once they discover a product or a brand on TikTok, are actually going to the physical location and checking that item out. Wow. So it's quite remarkable what we're able to see in not only us being able to capture that attention and that engagement that's on the platform already, but really how can we bring this down and through the funnels for these retail media partners.
And you mentioned that you know that kind of 2 out of 5 are seeing stuff on TikTok and then actually actively going out and making purchases. And is that something like you're able to provide as insights back to your clients? And how does that work in practice?
So I can
imagine that's really valuable. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, from a measurement and attribution perspective, the extension of the retail media ecosystem has been a really good opportunity for us to think about how we deliver insights differently. So we've got all the resources to be able to deliver the TikTok insights, but something we've been doing a lot more in the last couple of years is extending out our third-party partnerships when it comes to research, insights, and measurement. Because the real critical thing for advertisers to have success is not to know that TikTok works, it's to know how TikTok works in amongst the complex ecosystem. Okay. So the kind of insights that we're now able to provide, we're trying to provide cross-channel insights, what the online offline distribution is, how digital upper funnel activity impacts positively traditional lower funnel activity, and what are all the connections across that. So integration across the ecosystem has been a really important focus for us in to be able to provide the most valuable insights back to our clients.
And I hear a lot in the conversations I have with members in the industry that scale and attribution are real big challenges with retail media. There's lots of opportunities, there's lots of great things, but actually the scale and the attribution are kind of persistent challenges, if you like. How do you think multi-platform strategies, so thinking about, everything from a retail media network on and off-site, but also your platform and in-store, how does that all come together, and how does that really help to deliver, both a kind of a good customer experience, but also the reach and impact that the brand and the client is looking for? I realise it's quite a complex question, but
I think so. Going back to how things used to be in the advertising world, as an analyst, it used to be quite straightforward. You had your TV ads, out of home, print, and all sales happened in store. And it was from an attribution perspective, it was relatively straightforward to decipher what was driving what. There was challenges, of course, in data connections and signals and pixels and things like that. It didn't really exist at the time I first got involved. And now, obviously, we've got dozens of digital channels. We've got, I think the average household has got 5 connected devices. There's still in-store sales, there's online sales, there's open loop commerce, closed loop commerce. There's all these different components. But the way I always try and think about, deciphering what is driving what, the principles are really still the same. So it always used to be at the channel level, you want to understand incrementality directly of that channel. And then when it comes to cross-channel comparison, there was always things like multi-touch attribution and media mix modeling processes that could decipher what the customer journey looks like through the different touch points and different points of exposure. All those opportunities to be able to, look at how everything is working together, as one solution is still available. There's more complex inputs, but what's really relevant today is not just having the measurement solutions themselves, but having really strong calibration processes across each of those different kinds of measurement. There is a million different ways to measure marketing now, and really understanding for every business to have a really clear view about what the most important processes are, built around quite traditional methodologies around incrementality and attribution and media mix modeling, and then the calibration process to kind of decipher, okay, each of these inputs, what does it actually mean in terms of how does it quantify what the overall source of truth looks like? It's not an easy process, but it's kind of like the way to think about it hasn't really changed, to be honest, in terms of how it used to get looked at 20, 30 years ago. It's just that there's more of a complex ecosystem to break down.
How does that kind of penetrate in the discussions you're having with brands and retailers, like the complexity of that and your role as an entertainment platform?
Yeah, definitely. I think, exactly what Steve is saying. We are used to these 2-dimensional, 3-phased funnels and, having a funnel for each channel. But really the way the world is, evolving to, especially as we think about a retail media where it's multi-channel, multi-destination, and the consumer journey is no longer a funnel, it's actually closer to an infinity loop, right? They're coming in and out of different stages of the funnel constantly. And the way that we think about this is there's 2 problems to solve. One is, how do we have a product problem, or like how do we solve the product problem, which is very much exactly how Steve was talking about this, but we think about this as like a 3-player team. We need to have really strong signal. So we need to have high validity signal that we're passing back amongst all these channels, so we fully understand and can fully optimize across multiple channels at one time. We then need a really robust creative strategy, because creative on an entertainment platform is what really drives results. And then finally, we need the measurement plan, because you need to understand truly what TikTok brings as a channel to your overall business. And then for the second problem, it's really about how can we then optimize across all of those features for you. And that's where we bring in most of our retail media solutions, which is really helping connect these retail media networks to the brands and give additional levels of brand level optimizations.
But just to kind of play devil's advocate, if the funnel has completely collapsed, which I think is kind of where we're maybe getting to as an industry, right? We still talk about the funnel, but actually kind of we're talking about it, but does it really exist in reality? Is it really possible to have a kind of consistent measurement across platforms? Like in reality, what's the reality of that today?
I wouldn't say the funnel's collapsed.
Okay.
But I think the recognition that there has to be some kind of integration between brand activity and performance activity has been really the critical thing.
They're no longer operating in complete silos.
They don't operate in silos. Most channels out there can play, multiple roles in different objectives. Yes, it is true that some channels are very, very pure performance and some channels are very, very pure awareness or brand activity. But the majority of opportunities out there are actually some kind of mixture in between. Okay. And I think that, thinking about full funnel is probably the best way that at the moment advertisers can think about bringing together brand and performance. I think just like the basic idea of upper, mid and lower funnel opportunities on each of the channels. And then, recognizing that not all channels are going to be able to deliver against all objectives, and then kind of like piecing together the ecosystem based on that kind of structure.
Yeah.
I think it might not be around forever, that kind of thinking, but I think it's a good transition that the industry can make in terms of going from the disparate brand and performance view of the world to one consolidated full funnel view of the world.
Yeah.
And then, it may evolve into something different in terms of the way that we think about it. But I think right now, the funnel structure is kind of critical for that transition.
Okay.
And I think to double down on this as well, we've also been living in where platforms have been designated to certain parts of the funnel. So we go to certain channels or we go to certain platforms because they drive brand or they drive really good performance results. The way we actually view the world now with an entertainment platform like TikTok is you can do both at the same time. Okay. And we actually can go across the funnel. Not only that, going one step further, the creative that works the best is video. And entertainment video. Mm-hmm. And what we're seeing is that works not just in brand anymore, but also at the lower part of the funnel to actually drive business results.
So stop bucketing platforms into parts of the funnel and think about it a bit more holistically. Okay, I'd love to carry on this conversation, but I think we're almost out of time. So just before we close, fun question. Describe, if you can, the Retail Media Impact Summit in 3 words.
Drive commerce everywhere.
Great, love it.
I've got 3 separate words.
Go on.
So insightful. I've learned a lot already today that I didn't know about retail media. Velocity, the pace of change is extraordinary in retail media. And ambition. I think everyone here recognizes the opportunity and everyone seems pretty fired up in going after it.
Great. Thank you very much, Steve and Josh. That was great.
All right, thank you.